How does a DMR stack up against an SPR for civilian use? Because let's be honest, the Second Amendment is not about your hunting rights. YouTube already hates this video, so please do us a favor. Thanks. YouTube already hates this video, so do us a favor, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I had a question that I've been asking myself for a while. How do DMRs stack up against SPRs for civilian use? Now, here's something that you have to know. Both the DMR and the SPR were designed to really fill the same role, that 300 to 600 meter window. But there's quite a bit of difference between these two guns, despite the fact that they're both built off of an AR platform. So let's describe how these guns are built, but you're probably already noticing that we are missing the Drew Hopkins, who is on a side quest today. We have Steve Winiger of Ripcord Industries, who was kind enough to bring out one of his guns so that we could do this quick little comparison. A DMR is a designated marksman rifle, and when people say that, they typically are referring to an accurized semi-automatic 308 or something in that caliber. This one is an LMT 16-inch, and then an SPR is a special purpose rifle, which is the nomenclature, but originally it was a special purpose receiver, and the idea was that for that 300 to 600 yard window, you could take a receiver, just the upper half, slap it onto any issued lower with a longer barrel, better magnification, and an accurized system, and start to engage targets with greater accuracy at distance. But 308 and 5.56 are definitely not the same. There's a big cost difference, despite the fact that you could do a comparison like this with a Smith & Wesson M&P 10 and an M&P 15. We are doing it with nice guns because we like to shoot nice guns, and Ripcord makes phenomenal stuff. So we're gonna shoot some drills, we're gonna talk about these guns, and we are gonna come to a conclusion here today. All right.
That we will.
Let's do it. All right, so let's talk about the guns themselves. So I am shooting a 16-inch LMT. Thank you very much, LMT, for providing this to us. Steve is gonna be shooting a 14.5, but we're both shooting the same optic with supporting red dots. So I have a Leupold Mark V 3.6 to 18. He's got the same. I have an offset dot. I typically prefer a top-mounted dot, but he's running a top-mounted dot, and I haven't shot with an offset for a little while, so I wanted to give it a try. Now, I have a mod light on the end of my gun because these lights are incredibly bright, and I know that they'll also hold up to the recoil on a big chunky 308. Mod Light just so happens to also be one of the sponsors of this video. So if you guys are interested in picking up literally the best that you can get, I'd go hit the link in the description, go check out Mod Light. They make some incredible equipment, from pressure pads to end caps. They sell mounts for your lights, and then obviously the lights themselves, batteries. And then I got a Harris bipod and a Q suppressor. Also, it's worth noting, I have added some items like a 100 Concepts cover on the end of my red dot, as well as, I don't want to flag you here, Nick, but a light cap. It doesn't make sense to me to have a DMR or an SPR that has big reflective devices out on the end of your gun, reflecting light in the direction that you're actually shooting. So I have added some 100 Concepts parts and pieces here. They're also a sponsor of the channel, so go ahead and hit that link in the description, and I think we have a discount as well, so check that out too. So that's kind of this setup. I'll be shooting M80 ball and M118, which is a quite a bit more accurate, heavier grain projectile for 308. Now, Steve, let's see what you're working with.
So this is one of our complete guns. It's got our receiver sets, buffer tube, rail, Criterion 14.5 core series barrel. It's got a 1-in-8 twist, zero gravity mount, the Leupold 3 to 18. It's the Mark V. Got their Delta Point top mounted on here. Got some HRF stuff for the different pressure pads, the different angled pressure pads, so I know that this is white light and this is laser. Surefire body with the Mod Light Legacy head, Harris bipods.
Sick. You're also set up for night vision, which is something I'd struggle to actually get passive aiming with an offset dot. Yours is awesome for shooting passive with night vision up on top, and then you also have a laser, which reminds me that we're also sponsored by Steel Industries. So if you guys are looking for night vision or night vision accessories, we do have a discount code for any products that are not currently on sale. Link is in the description. They're the best in the industry when it comes to night vision. So you'll be shooting 55 grain and 77 grain.
Correct.
But before we really start stretching out, let's run a few flat range drills because this thing is super heavy. And a common talking point when it comes to an SPR is it's the fact that you have lightweight, lot of ammo. How many mags do you have on body right now in that chest rig?
6, 7 right now.
Okay, 7. You could have 8 in there and a 9th in the gun if you needed to, right? Yeah. And this is a full chest rig, at least on my body style, and I'm still only holding 4 308 mags full at 25 rounds per mag. And then we're gonna talk about Overmatch a little bit, as well as the value of having a lightweight, low recoiling carbine. Starting here at the 25, 2 rounds to the head box, sprint to the 10, bell drill.
Okay.
Okay. .692, all A's.
Better hold on the head, so a little bit higher.
Oh boy, oh boy.
725. Clean.
Clean, all A's. Dude, I'm not your size. If I was, it would help a little bit. Moving, getting the momentum up to move with this thing.
Well, maybe manipulating that, but moving all the meat from there to there, maybe not.
Oh, that's fair, that's fair. We also have to give a special thanks to KIR Ammo for providing the ammo today. We're shooting NATO rounds, 5.56 and 308, but for those of you who like to play with some of that funkier stuff, if you're looking for like 8.6 blackout and you can't find any, or 5.7 and it's just not on the gun store shelves, go check out KIR Ammo. They also ship same day as long as you buy at least before 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So thank you, KIR Ammo. And no tax out of Texas. Thank you very much, Autistic Jones. Okay, so why should you care about the difference between these DMRs or something along that style and an SPR? Well, let me first start by saying, especially for civilians, you have to remember all nations throughout history have fallen or been at war at home at some point. It's not a matter of if, it unfortunately is a matter of when. And when that happens, everyone is out for their own families. When it comes to these two guns, there's 2 key talking points, one of which is overmatch. It's having a better or more superior system than the other team to outmatch someone else. So a perfect example is, it's exactly what the United States military had going into Iraq and Afghanistan. They had nods, they had better logistics, they had better weapons, they had better tactics, they had far more funding. They had it all. But there's still the other argument of having a lightweight, lots of ammo, low recoil carbine that may be overmatched or undermatched compared to something like a big chunky 308, but they still really get the job done. So that's just one quick little way to kind of compare and contrast. Which do you value? The overmatch heavy hitting side, or extra ammo, low recoiling, and lightweight on your feet? Now, these aren't specifically designed for shooting on the flat range within 10 to 5 yards. So let's start stretching out a little bit. Before we do, I want to check groups though.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. So that was the 55 grain.
Perfect. Steve, I noticed I mentioned a term that not everyone may know about, which is accurizing a firearm. Can you explain that to people? Because you actually make guns.
Yeah, so when it comes to like the AR or the platform, a couple of things folks can do is check headspace, make sure their bolt fits best with their barrel and their chamber. When you're picking a muzzle device and installing it, don't over torque that muzzle device. Taking your upper receiver and lapping or truing the face. So what you're doing is you're taking a specialized tool and some like polishing compound basically, and you're flattening out the face of that upper receiver that actually meets the barrel extension's lip. What you do is taking any potential impurities or raised edges out of that surface so that the barrel can actually sit flat and true. Free float handguard, those are some simple things that folks can do to true or accurize their gun.
Well, I can tell you right now, this gun does not like M80, but let me shoot this higher powered stuff and see what happens. All right, there's 5, let's go check them. Well, let's see.
Oh, great heavens.
So you have a 1 in 8 twist, and he sure didn't love your 55 grain. What was your first shot, do you know?
Likely this one.
Okay.
Just based on, so I've zeroed that gun with G9's 55 grain, they're 223, and it seems to perform pretty well with that. I'll have, every once in a while, I will get a little bit of a wild, you know, a little flyer, you know, something like that. But generally, or more consistently, those groups are, you know, MOA or maybe just over with the 55 grain.
Sure.
Again, it's a 1 in 8 twist.
77 grain, you're looking at just over an inch.
Yeah, and you know, I could take my time, I could take more time, you know, and get a little bit more stable.
Yeah.
But from my zero with the ammo that I've used to zero this, basically what I'm seeing is it's off to the left roughly an inch.
Consistently.
Yeah, with the 77 grain, if I don't change anything or zero to that ammo.
Right. And then you'll notice my gun also did not like the lightweight stuff. A lot of performance guns designed for accuracy are typically going to be built to prefer that heavier round in the first place. So that 175 grain, that was my first shot, I believe, and then this was the rest. So we're stressing ammo a lot for a few reasons. One, your gun is super rad, but the results on paper or the results on target, which is the ammo, that's what the gun is trying to do. That's what it's trying to produce. So there's one more thing that you have to pay attention to in the concept of civilians owning either of these firearms, which is this. You don't have government funding to give you all the ammo, the right kind of ammo in mass quantities whenever you need it, whenever you get back to your fob. You're still gonna have to source and then purchase and fund that ammo yourself. So keep this in mind. Ball 308 is around $1 a round at the time of this filming. Whereas 5.56 ball 55 grain is like 50 cents a round these days. It can be a little bit more expensive, but that's a good price point today. And then you start getting up into the higher price point, 77 grain, like Black Tip or Black Hills OTM for 5.56. That starts to get up to like $1.30, $1.50 a round. And high-end 308 or even 6.5 Creedmoor is starting to get up to like $2.30 a round. When you are trying to buy large quantities of this ammo, you also have to pay attention to what's my budget and can I fund an accurate ammunition for my accurized firearm. How about we go stretch these out and see how like M80, 55, and then 77 and 118s actually do all the way out to 600.
If you don't mind, when we shoot it out there, I think today, earlier, when we were kind of setting stuff up, the 62 grain, I'd like to do 60. I'll do all 3 if you don't mind.
Let's do it.
Because the 62 seem to be like the sweet spot for that rifle.
Perfect. Okay, well, let's stretch them out. $5.99. No call?
No call.
That M80 just can't hang.
Just off the left edge.
Yeah, that's probably wind.
All right, wind changed. We can see what the bushes are doing down there, which is really nice.
That is.
Dude, I can't tell, buddy. I don't know how much the wind's gonna affect it, but I would...
Hold right edge?
Yeah, favor right. I'll be honest, I can't see anything now from through this.
Ow. 158, 220, 260, and then all the way out up on the hill is 535. Hit. Again. Hit. 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 Go all the way out.
That was high.
Hit. Hit. Just low.
Just over top.
Yep.
Just below. Got him. Got him. Just high.
High.
High right. Hit.
This M80 with the gun heating up is only so happy. Now, obviously, these guns are very capable to a mid-range to long-range distance, and while a DMR and an SPR are typically 18 to 20-inch barrels, longer than what we have here, these are still very, very capable out to 500, 600, 700 yards, ammo dependent. High-end optics and quality barrels make a big difference too, but we don't need to necessarily prove that the guns are capable. Let's bring it back to the question at hand, which is, what is the difference between these for a civilian application? My personal opinion is that because there is so much 5.56, it's relatively cheap, it's been putting people in the dirt effectively for years, and you can carry a ton of ammo, that's probably gonna be the better way to go, whether you're building an 18-inch or a 14.5 with an accurized system. Now, there is still a lot of quality applications for a 308 or even a 6.5 Creedmoor if you have the money for that. Stocking up on ammo, building dope, and shooting out to even longer range distances, whether that's defeating armor or turning soft cover into just concealment because you're punching a heavier round through brush, concrete, vehicles, so on and so forth. Steve, you didn't shoot this gun a whole ton, but I know you have played with some 308s. What is for your personal opinion, because again, you're a company that builds firearms, where have you guys taken your choice between bigger caliber firearms or something like this platform for you?
So if you're talking about the difference between the two, like 5.56 or your heavier caliber or larger frame ARs, something that we have seen is definitely you're getting into a little bit more niche market with this, who offers it well. A lot of your guys that were, snipers from the military or law enforcement are into this kind of stuff, and your PRS shooters. I agree with Josh in the fact that, your 5.56 or 2.23 variant guns are wider, in wider use, more available. If you were gonna build something in 5.56 specifically for this purpose, and you didn't want to have something that was like 20 inches long or, super long gun, honestly, I'd go with a 16-inch heavy barrel profile, maybe even stainless.
Sure.
And something for that, or in this type of setup.
Right.
These are obviously very capable, but if you're purpose building something, having an upper receiver group set up for your lower, I think would be you'd get the most bang for your buck.
Agreed, yeah, and then you also have all of your bolts, your gas rings, extractors and ejectors, everything that goes into any of your other ARs that you probably do already own. If you're looking for something like this, they're just gonna work together because it's the same gun. You just have that longer barrel with an accurized system. So that's our personal opinion. Larger 308 guns or 6.5s, great to have. And if you have a fire team, you have a community that's capable of getting something like that and building one out, absolutely, it's a great force multiplier. But as a whole, an 18 or 20-inch accurized 5.56 is probably going to serve the average individual a little bit better. Now, these are some Gucci guns, but I kind of want to do a test like this around maybe a 20-inch Palmetto State versus like a 14.5 Gucci gun at distance and see how those play out. Could be another video we do down the road. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We value your feedback. If you guys have some thoughts on this video or some other content that you want to see in the future, we have about a year's worth of content that's already scheduled, but we do want to see what you guys are interested in. If you want to support us, like mentioned, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That does help a lot. We also have Patreon. We sell merch and now some products on our website too, some of the slings and gear that you've seen here in the video as well as on the channel. So thank you for watching and take care. Yeah, man, I mean, people aren't even going to the movie theaters anymore. Everyone's just waiting for stuff to come out on streaming.